Hey guys, Norman with Bearable Traders. It is Wednesday, August 28, 2019. Quick recap for today, man. I went from Bonehead to hero today in my trading. The open, once again, and I mentioned in the pre-market show, was pretty nasty, choppy. Wasn't seeing a whole lot that was interesting. I tried a couple of trades on Apple. It's mostly based on the 15-minute holding moving averages that bounced around at the open, even though it's sold off here. And then I realized, this big shooting star, wick, tombstone, whatever you want to call this, I didn't want to stick around for it. I got stopped out once, and then I, for whatever reason, I decided to try it again and realized, okay, Apple's just not doing anything right now. Eventually, it held the moving averages and moved, but oh well. Then I took a Bonehead trade on Roku, and this wasn't that bad. Roku's been so strong recently. It was gapping down, and you can almost rely that on Roku at least going up to test previous day close. So took a trade on this, and my real problem, first of all, it came down at the open, and I thought I was getting it through VWAP, and it ended up not being able to recapture VWAP and get through it. My stop was at the low of day, and I sized my position wrong. And as you can see, I took a pretty decent hit, 286 on that one. That was just kind of idiotic trading. So I got up and I walked off for a minute, and it's like, what are you doing today? Stop this. You for 3 straight days, you talked about, market conditions this week and everything else. So I came back and I was looking around, and Autodesk ADSK was on my watch list, but I wasn't paying a ton of attention to it for some reason. And I got a shout out to Brendan D that said, hey guys, take a look at Autodesk. It looks like it's holding this like 130-ish level. So I looked here and I waited for this little pullback, and I got in, and almost the instant I got in, it shot from my entry of, I think it was 130.64-ish, a good 70 cents. And I was like, damn, this thing is super strong. Every time it pulled back just the tiniest amount, it would rocket back up. So took this trade on Autodesk. I partialed as it went through 133 whole number. I mean, I was already a good amount into this trade. Earlier in the day, it had peaked and sold off once it got to the 200 on the 2. So I used that and got out of a little bit of it right before it got to the 2. I really should have partialed a bigger piece of my position here, but it was every single time it would sell off a little bit. It'd sell off real light volume and then just explode again up to the upside. So I held on to it, and I got out. I was so far into this trade anyway. I got out the rest of my position just under as it broke VWAP the second time. Since it couldn't reclaim and hold, that's what concerned me. So I went ahead and took off the rest of my position. Never got back to my break even, but still, this is a pretty nasty downdraft. And a lot of people actually in the room called this and were short for that move. So then I kept my eye on it. I was pretty much done. That fixed my day. I'd gotten back. I was essentially at goal, and I was ready to wrap up for the day. But I still had my eye on it. I noticed it failed to make a new, whoops, I'll put this here. Sorry. I noticed it failed. So it had this low from earlier in the day. It failed to make a new low for the day. It failed to make a new 5-minute low. All of these on the 5-minute, all these big white candles, and then when this downward move started, it was light volume. So I thought, okay, maybe this is in this channel, a wedge here. And sorry for my terrible writing, but you can kind of see if I put that there, this wedge. And if it can break and resolve this to the upside, then this could really make a nice move based on the price action I was seeing earlier in the day. My stop was at 131 even, which was the low of this recent low. And that was a hard stop. I don't know that I would have let it gotten that far, but that was absolutely my stop, and based on what I put my shares at, took a really small size on this since I was already at goal. Stop was 88 cents away. I probably would have ended up getting out between this 5-minute low if it breached it considerably and it approached that 131, because there is a lot of slippage in this stock too. So anyway, so I took it right as this new candle formed. Looked like it was going to make a new 5-minute high. I went ahead and took this tiny size. And man, this thing just ripped instantly. Once again, I got into it and it spiked. And it really never gave any reason to get out of this. And I sat in this trade from 10:20 until Eastern, until I got out my last one at 12:40. So it got through the 2 moving average on the 2 pretty easily. You can see it just barely even hesitated there before it took off. Knew if it could clear that, it was pretty clean sailing. So the next thing it had was this moving average on the 15. So once the momentum died on the other side of that, I took that partial off. It was at 138.24-ish, 20-ish. And then you can see on the 5-minute, my next partial was going to be on the 60, right up here just above 139. 139.40 is where this 20 moving average on the 60 chart was earlier. It got above this. It made a new 5-minute low. Once it started to breach and make a new 5-minute low, it looked like it was starting to get weak. So I went ahead and took the rest of my position off. Frankly, like I said, it was a really small position. I'd been sitting here for a number of hours through the pre-market show, traded the open live, and then in the room for the rest of the day for this. I knew I'd caught most of the move. I still think it might go back up. You can see this hammer on the 15. It's kind of stuck in this right now, but it is holding these levels at 138. So it looks like it might try again. Wouldn't surprise me if it got to 140, but I caught almost $7 out of that. I guess almost $6 out of it, or around $6. So it was worthwhile. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't be a bonehead. Don't make those mistakes. Take the good trades. If you're unsure about something like that at the open when it's moving real fast, and I've said it, this week has been choppy at the open. This has not been the week for continuation moves right from the start. Take your time, and every day they're going to present themselves. So thanks for watching. Trade safe, and I will see you in the chat tomorrow.